All right, let's get into it.
So it's Friday.
It is.
It's coming out on Friday, but we're actually recording on Thursday. But my weeks and days and everything have been so messed up over Christmas and
Oh, it's just a blur.
yeah, like what? It's my first day back at work, but it's not Monday twice now. I don't really know where I'm at.
Yeah, this feels like a Monday.
Yeah,
Like this whole week has been a Monday.
yeah, and your Friday.
Yeah, today's a Monday and a Friday
Yeah.
for me. And yesterday was a Monday. It's weird. But yeah, welcome to the Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. And for another episode of knowledge.
Yeah, no guest this week, but
No.
we'll work on more of them. I think you guys enjoyed the Gary Brugman one. Did you see right after we posted that Donald Trump reposted his when he gave him a pardon,
Oh, really?
like on Donald Trump's post?
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't
Yeah,
see
and
that.
it was like because we asked Gary how he heard about it, right? So if you want to see how Gary heard about it, he's on the other end of the iPad that is on Donald Trump's post. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, whenever you have a president post something about you and it's not negative, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I think I stand a chance, but it'll be a negative thing at some point. But to have something positive said about you about a president, or that's cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, and we had just talked about it, so that's why I wanted to bring it up. So yeah. But anyway, so we'll have more guests later on, but it's just John and I this time. So
Yeah, you can just tune out now if you only hear for the guests. But today we actually are drinking because it is a Friday, even though it's a Thursday.
yeah. Well, I got to work tomorrow. But
Yeah. But we're drinking a little Tullamore Dew, and I'm pairing it with a Warfighter Victory cigar, which is kind of one of our flagship cigars and one of our super premiums. It's a Brazilian Montefina wrapper, Nicaraguan binder filler, and this is our 4th edition of it. It's delicious.
guess what I did on Christmas?
We smoked 6 of these.
I smoked a first edition.
Holy shit! I think I have 2.
I had a couple 5-packs in my humidor unit,
Mhm.
so I brought them for Christmas and handed them out. So
Yeah.
Jazz and Steve and myself, one other guy I didn't know, can't remember his name, and I'm sorry. And yeah, we all smoked them.
So how'd it taste?
It was okay. The first edition is good,
Yeah.
but when I first lit it, I'm like, this is bold as shit.
Yeah.
And then it like changed, like it does,
Yeah,
right? But yeah, no, it was good. It's tasted like,
How it's supposed to.
yeah, like even though they're 2017 ish.
Yeah, 17, 18.
Yeah. So yeah, it still tasted the same. It was good.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't have many more of those.
No.
So yeah, I know like Warfighter itself keeps like an archive of whatever we've ever made.
Yeah.
And so we have some in that, but I had a couple in my personal stash. I think I have one more 5-pack.
But we didn't realize that we needed to keep things
We didn't.
until hindsight.
Yeah.
We were probably 3 years in.
And we're like, oh, shit's changing.
Yeah. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe we should keep those like
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah. So cigars and accessories that have come and go, we've usually kept, like for a, what do you call it?
Well, memorial.
Yeah.
for lack of a
For the
better word.
accessories, it's definitely a memorial, right? Sometimes
Oh.
it's not a good memorial.
I call it a one of each shelf.
Yeah.
And so anytime we're developing something new or whatever, we always have something to go back and look at.
Yeah. And every now and then we lose the ability to get something, or say some company that was great sells to a big company and becomes terrible, and then we have to quit carrying that product, stuff like that. Or coming up here, we have another couple things that we're going to have to retire.
Yeah. So we got some bad news from Pelican.
Which we haven't ever gotten real good news from Pelican ever.
Well, it's never been this bad of news.
Right.
Usually the bad news is like, hey, we're raising prices 20%.
Yeah.
Or
or we can't.
What was the other one?
We can't ship for 6 months, or
we're going to put a surcharge on every order because of tariffs. Like,
yeah, but it's not a price increase. It's a surcharge.
It's a surcharge. It's different than the 20% price increase.
Right.
Yeah. But no, so this time they're actually discontinuing some stuff that we carry.
And we sell a lot of.
But not everything. So our Ruck Case humidors, they're discontinuing the R20s completely.
Which is the smallest one that holds 8 cigars.
8 cigars. Yeah. But that one's completely going away. And then the R40 and the R60, the medium and the large one, they're discontinuing the tan and orange colors.
So we'll still have
only going to be black and OD green.
Yeah, we'll still have black and green 40s and R60s.
Yeah. I'm scrambling to try to get a hold of as many 20s and 40s and 60s of the colors they're getting rid of as they can right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, you heard it here. Whatever R20s are available, we bought all that Pelican had.
Or we are buying.
Yeah. Yep. So if you see them and you want them, or if you want, I don't even know if we have R40 tans or
not right now.
We have a couple oranges left.
Yeah. And then we have black and OD green.
Yeah.
And then actually in 40s we're out right now because Pelican has none.
Yeah.
And then 20s we have black and OD green.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we have any orange left anymore.
Yeah, we have some R60 oranges if I remember right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if there's one of those colors or sizes that you want, now's the time. So
and but I mean, like we've always done, we're going to be constantly looking for new products and new solutions to humidor issues and travel humidors and semi-permanent, permanent storage solutions. The slow part of that is we're only going to release it if it actually works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work or it's a shitty design or whatever, then it just dies in R&D.
Yeah.
It's not something we're going
Which, I mean, you can't see it, but on the corner of the of the bench right there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's a lot of things that died in R&D.
9.
So, yeah.
We have 9 R&D products on the table right now that did not pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Christmas is over.
It is.
Yep.
Did you get anything fun for Christmas?
No, we didn't do a whole lot. I'm in a. Well, I guess maybe. I ordered myself some stuff. I guess.
Yeah. I did a no presents Christmas.
Yeah.
With everyone that I don't know, normally come in contact with.
Right.
Family, friends, everything across the board, no presents. And it worked out great, except a handful of people are like, "Oh, I forgot." Right. Like, okay. But other than that, Christmas was great. I spent it in Arizona and froze my ass off out there. It was cold as shit.
Which is
crazy. It's not usually how it is.
Yeah.
But got to smoke some cigars while I was out there. We had an event at a hotel up there called the Princess, not Warfighter.
Right.
I was attending one.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like a 65-acre hotel resort in Scottsdale, Arizona. And the whole entire place, any outdoor grounds anywhere, is a smoking section.
Wow.
And that's I went to a bar the next day in Gilbert, and I was out on their patio having a cigar, and they're like, "Sir, you can't smoke out here." And I'm like, I'm outside. And they're like, "Yeah, but you can't smoke here."
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? But but at the Princess, I asked, I'm like, "Hey, do you guys mind if can you smoke here? Like, how's this work?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, here, hold on." And he hands me a menu. And he goes, "Flip to the back page. There's cigars on it." I was like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, we sell cigars. You can smoke anywhere on the grounds." I'm like, "Well, this is awesome." I'm like, "Can I smoke my own?" He's like, "I don't care." So I open the menu and I look at it and I was like, "Oh." I think the cheapest cigar they had there was like $30.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good cigar.
Yeah.
The most expensive one, they had Opus X, and it was $100. And they only had like, I think 6 or 8 cigars on their menu.
Yeah.
But so I gave the bar staff cigars and the people around me, and it turned out pretty fun, even though it was cold as shit.
Yeah. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For Christmas, we didn't do much because we went and did Thanksgiving up in Nebraska with my family. So, yeah. But
and
New Year's coming up. think you're gonna go
I'll be in New Orleans
New Orleans.
smoking cigars.
Nice.
The only plans that we have is food.
Yeah.
In places that we can smoke at. And
Right.
that's it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not mad at this at all.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be really funny. I'm bald as shit. And one of the guys going, Mike Harmon, is also bald as shit.
Right.
We ordered toupees and we didn't tell anyone. And this is coming out after New Year's, so I can talk about it.
That's fucking funny.
I can't wait. I don't know how it's going to work. I've never put a toupee on, so I don't even know if it's going to like. I don't know how to attach it to my head. Like,
well, I think
suction
you
cups
no
or
double-sided duct tape. I'm pretty sure.
ouch.
It's not like you're pulling hairs out.
But he's like, he sends me a message. He's like, hey, our Christmas present showed up. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, okay. He's like, we're going to have to style him. I'm like, dude, I haven't like styled hair or combed my hair in like 20 years. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Just, I think you'd be happy if you put them on facing the right direction, you know?
I hope mine's like a Donald Trump.
Like,
This is going to be really fun though. But we'll probably have pictures and all that fun stuff afterwards. So we'll see how it all plays out. I don't even know what color mine is.
yeah.
But no, that's going to be fun. But yeah, so we get a couple questions that came in from listeners on previous shows.
Right.
And we didn't really get a chance to cover some of them just because of the guests that we had on.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we were listening or hearing their stories instead. So we'll kind of run down the list real quick, answer some of the questions that you guys had because we don't want to ignore you. And then we'll get into all the other fun stuff. But yeah, some of them are going to be super easy, quick. Like how long should you smoke a cigar?
Till you're done.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's 30 seconds or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you decide you're done with it,
I mean, okay. So I think things I've seen before that made me wonder, right? I've seen people smoke to the label and then that's it.
yeah.
Like they weren't aware that they could take the band off is what it appeared to be. Obviously you can take the band off and smoke the cigar farther. I've seen some people, like you included, where you nub it down to like
as much as I can.
Yeah.
Burn in my lips.
Like the most I'll smoke a cigar is like I'll hold the very minimum, and once I start burning my fingers, I'm done, right.
I have like scars in between my fingers from cigars, just little burns that are permanently there.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't go too crazy with it because I don't like a hot cigar.
Yeah.
And so I think when you get that short, I don't know how to keep them from getting hot.
Right. I'll smoke a cigar until I stop getting the flavors that I'm enjoying out of it.
And usually that happens when it's hot.
It does. But there's some cigars like the one you were talking about when I get them all the way down, and there's like a 1/4 inch left and I'm, my fingernails or a knife's in it or something. I'm still getting those flavors that I'm enjoying.
Usually, I bet that's usually a thick, toothy wrapper.
Yeah, I typically doesn't happen on like a Connecticut or something.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But there's no right or wrong answer.
No, it's
if you're tired of it, if the cigar sucks, you're tired of it.
Yeah.
Or you didn't eat, you're getting fucking
right. And you can always, say you get halfway through it and whatever, you can set it down and come back later. It might not have the same exact flavors because it's on a relight.
And I think we covered how to relight the cigar, right? Yeah. Knock the ash off and that.
Yep.
So
and I prefer a soft flame over a jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next question?
Why isn't Warfighter sold worldwide?
Well, because we're not everywhere in the United States yet. So once we master that.
Well, we have to put all of our trust into some a broker in a different country.
Yeah.
And have them hold our inventory.
Well, yeah, there's finance. Yeah.
And
yeah.
But there's, customs and imports and all that stuff. Yeah. But if you do live in Australia, if you go to garrisonsupplycompany.com.au, I think it is, they are officially our Australian importers.
Yeah.
And they carry and sell our cigars.
So if you're in Australia,
Yeah.
you want Warfighter.
Look up Garrison Supply Company on
And
Facebook, Instagram.
Once they're completely, are they up?
Yep, they're up and running now. They had some payment processing issues, just like everybody else in this.
So we should do some sharing on the on our, at least put it in the dealer locator for Australia.
Yeah,
the country locator, I guess. So
yeah, they got some cool stuff coming up. They're trying to build a community down there because there really isn't one like there is in the States. Like, when you walk into a cigar shop and people know each other and they hang out and they do random things on random nights, all that kind of stuff. Like, they don't have that in Australia. They don't have a cigar shop that you can per se go just hang out in.
And why do you think that is?
Government regulations.
Yeah,
100%.
They're taxed pretty heavy over there.
Oh yeah,
and that I think I don't know. Are they in a big city? Are they in a?
They're I don't know, headquarters, if you want to call it that, is not in a big city, but they can ship.
Yeah. But I'm saying that might be why there's not a big.
But they don't know. They just across the board, they don't have cigar lounges.
Yeah.
One of them is you can't really smoke inside.
Right.
So there's a couple places that built like an outside area that you can you go inside, you purchase whatever you want, and you go outside and hang out.
Right.
But even then, it's it's hot and everything in Australia tries to kill you.
Right.
So.
I tell you what, I am looking forward to our first Warfighter event in Australia because I've never been, and
awesome.
I've hung out with some Australian dudes a couple times, and we are made from the same cloth.
Yeah,
their way of thinking, their Type A personalities, from what I know,
right?
Like, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm about that life.
Yeah,
they're fun, and there is a gun culture down there. There's a bunch of people that actually, it's interesting how they have to do it, but they can own guns.
Yeah.
But it's very expensive. Ammo is insane.
Right.
But you have to shoot a certain amount of times per year in a
competition setting.
Yeah. A judged match.
Okay.
In order to maintain your license.
And you have to store the firearms at the club, if I remember right?
Maybe. I can't remember that exactly.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I know cigars there are very expensive.
Yeah.
They range anywhere between $50 to $100, $150 a cigar.
Well, Australian dollars.
But it's not far.
I don't know what the conversion rate is.
It's still a shitload.
Yeah.
I want to say it's here we go. Do you got Justin pulling it up for us? Maybe. Yeah. What's the Australian? What's the conversion US dollars to Australian? So it's 68 cents.
Okay. So you're looking at about $34, right? For a 34 US dollars is a $50.
Yeah.
So that's not. I mean, it's not good, but it's not as
34.18. Damn, look at you.
I forgot. When it comes to the dueler math, I can usually do that.
But yeah, 34 for a warfighter down there.
Yeah,
their taxes are insane.
we didn't charge them more. Your government did. I'm just saying.
I know, right?
So we're not gouging Australia.
No.
So
we were talking about doing a large order, like a very large order for down there. And it came out to $500,000 in import tax. And we're like, okay, well, let's figure out a different way.
Yeah. We'll do a lot of little ones. Yeah.
But so one of the interesting things about how they do it down there is, if you notice on their website, I don't know if you're listening, you can't see this, but if you're watching, you can see it. If you're listening, they just have our blend cards. They have the blend information about each different cigar, but there's no pictures of cigars that are on there. And that's because of the Australian government. They're white label stuff. So you can't have the cigars, period. If you walk into a place where you can buy these cigars, they literally have a white label with the writing on it that says what the cigar is, but there's no cigar there. You say, I want one of those, and they go in the back and get it and bring it out to you.
But it can still have the band on it?
But it can never be on display.
Right.
Yep.
Until you buy it.
So you don't even, and you have no idea. You know what I mean? It could be the wrong cigar, but
right.
Yeah. But the boys down there, Ben and Michael, are the guys that are running Garrison Supply Company. they're doing an awesome job. They bootstrapped this from the ground up. They went through all the legwork to get set up as an importer down there to bring everything in. So we're standing behind these guys 100% on what they got going on. And, but yeah, they got their website up and running, and they're doing a bunch of cigar nights and stuff because it's not a thing that happens down there. Like we talked about earlier on a podcast about, some of our favorite lounges and shops across the United States. It's because they built that community of customers that come in. And that's what these guys are trying to do in Australia against all the regulations the government's putting down on them. But yeah, that's why we're not sold worldwide. That was a long answer for a short question.
That's one country. And every country, every state, every province, every whatever has different laws.
Different.
We're just not in the position to tackle all that yet. Once we quit running out of products to sell in the United States, we'll seriously look at other countries. But we're growing, and it's hard to grow in a international where it's unknown, right? Like here, at least we can maybe.
Well, and there's some countries that our brand probably isn't going to do the best in. You know what I mean? Like there's Middle Eastern countries that have a huge cigar.
But there's those Middle Eastern countries I've had requests from, which blows my mind.
Oh, did they also tell you won the lottery?
Right. Well, I had to send them money in order for them to buy the cigars, but yeah.
But no, I mean that is true. Like we've had a lot of requests for stuff in Europe. Which culture there's changing every day. It's interesting. Yeah.
I would like to be in Britain because we get a lot of requests from the Brits.
UK would be fun.
Yeah. UK would be great. Where else would you want to be?
UK, Germany. Australia.
Yeah.
And we're working with that. Those are the two, I don't know, bigger-ish markets, if you want to call it that. Maybe the Netherlands also, just because it's that attracts a very good draw. I'd say France, but all we would do is offend people the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next question that we got in here. Let's see. What are our thoughts about dipping cigars in cognac, rum, or any alcohol?
It's just a wet cigar now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not something I do. I don't really know.
So they do. So some people do it to enhance the flavors.
It changes the flavor.
But I've never seen somebody do it on a good quality cigar. You know what I mean? I've never seen somebody.
I have.
Yeah.
But it's been in an environment where all they sold was fancy cigars and nobody was really a cigar smoker.
Okay.
And it's just something people hear about. I don't know if it's not something I do, so I can't really speak about it. But if you guys do it, you tell us like why do you like doing it?
Yeah.
I just don't know.
You're buying that cigar. You can do whatever you want to do with it.
Yes.
I don't care. You can tear it up into little pieces. You throw it in a bonfire. Like, I don't care what you do with it.
Right.
If you want to dip it in cognac and that's how or rum or whatever, and that's how you enjoy smoking it, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, do it twice.
Yeah.
And anybody gives you shit, tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I personally, I probably will never do that. I enjoy the flavors that I get out of the cigar.
Well, like, I don't know. It's Tellermerdue doesn't do much of anything to a cigar. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I think that's why a cognac or rum might work because it's a little sweeter. There's more sugars. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Not sure. Or brandy. Make it sweeter. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I might have to try it one day. Or not.
I mean, if we're thinking about what might work, I'm thinking like a wine.
Oh. Huh.
but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've never done it.
Yeah. Or like a port or something that's like
Yeah.
not a lot of alcohol, but a really, really really flavorful.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Like Grand Marnier. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you do it, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if not, then whatever. But.
Just dip the right end in.
Yeah. Don't put your cigar out in your drink.
Yeah. That ruins both.
And it'd probably be hard to light if you dipped it first and then.
Probably, yeah. I'd imagine. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know much about that one.
Okay. Next. Let's see. I'll save the best one for last. This one, it could be, we'll see. How do you maintain and grow the community and following that you have as a cigar brand? Without giving away any trade secrets.
Well, I think it's a struggle, right? Like, to keep that, like, we're a small company, right?
Yep.
So if we're going to put our efforts into that, then I think day-to-day work slides a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, luckily we have Justin. He does a lot of the social media stuff for us, which is nice. But I think, trying to be as engaged as possible, but yeah, it's hard. Yeah. I mean, like, obviously you want to do that.
And then the hard part about the growing is, it's not like we can do any paid advertisement on social media.
Yeah.
We can't sponsor posts. We can't boost posts.
The way we grow our social media numbers is from people telling their friends, or sharing our posts, or
word of mouth.
Because when we post something, the only people that see it are probably half of the people that follow us.
I wish half the people that followed us saw it.
So
we probably get 5 to 10% of our followers that actually see a post.
Yeah, if you want to see our post, you have to search Warfighter Tobacco,
and that's just on the reach.
Right.
That's not actual engagement or anything like that. That's just like it shows up on somebody's news feed. Because
our followers are real followers, we usually have really good engagement on posts. So, I appreciate that.
Right. But we are shadow banned like a mofo.
Yeah. Because occasionally we like guns.
We like everything that they don't like.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that's a growing and
but I think, like when you go to events, right? Like we're very social.
Right.
And I think that helps you build a relationship with the people. Like I have new friends now after coming back from Virginia.
Yeah.
Same
every event that we do.
Yeah.
Like when I was up in Colorado at 3Ds at both locations, like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing with when we were in Virginia.
Yeah.
We have guys that are going to come out from Virginia here to San Antonio just to come hang out because, they might be in the area. But yeah, I mean, that's on the community aspect outside of the social media side, because that's not the whole business model. It's a good tool.
Yeah.
But that face to face.
And I think being true to ourselves too, and not trying to, like we've always had a saying: if you don't like Warfighter, we don't care. If you like Warfighter, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but if you don't have to like us, like
we're not everyone's cup of tea.
No, we're not. Like I'm sure. Now that being said, even if we completely disagree politically, religiously, whatever, right? I have a feeling that we can still have a good conversation and be friends or friendly. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna push people out of our community.
No, and I'm not gonna judge you based on your beliefs. Just like I don't expect you to judge me based on mine.
Some of my favorite conversations are with people that completely disagree with me. As long as I can have a civil conversation about it.
Yeah.
Like I learn stuff. I hope they learn stuff.
Right.
Like I love those conversations.
Yeah.
If we could have somebody completely opposite of us, and we will, we'll have those guests on the show.
Yep.
And we'll try to have a civil conversation.
Yeah.
And
there's no reason we won't.
There's no reason we won't. It's kind of up to them, you know, like, hey, guns are okay. No, guns are bad.
Well, let's go shoot something.
Yeah, let's go
see.
shoot something.
Yeah. But yeah, and then this brings us to the last point, our last talking point that we had for notes. And this one I'm super proud of. The Underground Cigar Shop in Fort Worth, Texas, which is kind of like the mecca for boutique cigars. We are their 2023 number 4 rated cigar.
Yeah, the night shift.
Yep, the night shift. So out of their top 5 cigars for the year, we made that list, and we're number 4 with the night shift,
which is awesome.
And I appreciate the shit out of that. That is when we're talking about that culture and community again. That's the place that I wish every shop would model after.
You know why we're proud of that one? We didn't pay for a rating.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean? We've paid for some ratings. And
I don't even know if we've ever talked about
We've
those.
never posted them.
Ever.
Because it felt dirty, right? Like,
yeah.
It just, they spelled everything wrong. And
they had the wrong cigar,
wrong picture,
description.
Wrong, you know, but they rated it, right? They used we sent in the notes that they use for their notes. And
they asked us for tasting notes, and then they published exactly what we said.
Yeah. Like, okay, so you guys really rated these.
Like, how do you rate a cigar and then not even have the right description or picture?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, did you actually?
And we weren't Warfighter Tobacco Company. We were Warfighter Cigars. They didn't even get our company name.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, did you actually smoke that?
Yeah.
Did you actually rate
that? So when I get told by the owner of a underground cigar shop that, hey, you guys are number 4 cigar for the year, that made me so happy.
And we had no idea. We didn't even know they know nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't know they did top 5 cigars. Didn't know we were in the running. No idea.
No idea.
Any of it.
You just told me when it was done. I'm
Yep.
like, oh, that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
that's super cool. I appreciate the shit out of that. And speaking of underground, we have a little event coming up in March 9th.
Yeah.
It's NFG 24.
I don't know when tickets go on sale, but if our listeners are in the Fort Worth area, this is
even if you're not.
Yeah.
You should make your trip.
There's people that come from Alaska. There's people that come from all over the country.
Yeah, West Coast, East Coast, everywhere.
To go to this event. So if you're wanting to go to a fun cigar event, this is a good one.
And they're bringing the roast back this year,
which is awesome.
And it hasn't been for 3 years now? 4 years?
Yeah.
I think it's been 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those, I think 3 or 4 years, so the name of their event is No Fucks Given. I think they gave a couple fucks those couple of years.
Well, I mean, it was COVID.
Well, yeah, but
but I think
city
city had a little bit.
No. I think it was some of the other cigar brands may have had some feelings
I think about it was one person in particular
about the roast.
About the roast. So the roast, they used to go hard in the paint with the roast. So imagine like an old VH1 roast, like one of the most famous ones that's been going on, or Comedy Central, or is it VH1? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I believe it was Comedy Central.
Yeah. The one of the most famous ones that's going around, especially within the past 5 or 10 years, is the Donald Trump roast, which is pretty awesome. If you go back and look at it and watch it, but they've had almost, I wouldn't say everybody, but they've had a really large amount of people that they've done a roast for through Comedy Central. Tickets go on sale January 20th at noon Central Time.
So they sell out sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you want to go, you should.
Yep.
You should be on it. And it's just on their website, theundergroundcigars.com. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yep. But they're doing a roast the same style, except it is brand owners and reps that get up there and either roast everyone else or themselves or people in the crowd.
Yeah.
Don and Chef, the owners or employees of Underground. Nobody's really off limits. But everyone went really hard in the paint one year, directed everything towards one person. And and then they took a little hiatus from the roast after that. It's all out of love though.
Yeah. No, it's fun. So
Yep.
if you guys can go, try to go. It's a good time.
Oh.
Well, one year there was a wedding.
Oh yeah. And they always induct somebody into the Underground Hall of Fame.
Usually a customer, right?
It's either it's usually it's a
Oh yeah.
a broker, rep, somebody, or a customer. It just depends.
But they usually have it's themed around usually a customer. Last year was cowboy. I can't remember who it is this year, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Good people. What else we got? That was it for notes, huh?
That was it for notes. So now we actually get to talk about stuff.
Oh shit.
I know. It's this is that kind of weird no man's land type of year, in between Christmas and New Year's, where it's end of year, so everyone's trying to wrap up all that stuff. Christmas is over, so the big, sales rush and everything leading up to it,
Yeah.
it's kind of done. The weather sucks. Everyone, spent all their money on Christmas presents and travel and whatnot, and so now we're just kind of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still fun. It gives us time to work. We're working on, finalizing all of our stuff for our underground cigar. To touch back on that too, of why this is such a fun event. In order for a vendor to be there, they have to have either a new release or an event specific cigar just for that event. So you're either getting a first time a cigar has ever been released from a company, or something they only made just for that event. And that's it. And you have the opportunity to purchase those from the vendors that are there. And then if you get their big ticket, you get a swag bag and a bunch of cigars and stuff like that.
So if for our listeners, you've ever heard of like the crayon cigars that we did, offensive crayons, that was an underground event cigar.
Yeah. With crayons, we did a QR code.
Yeah.
What else have we done? We have one that we can't talk about.
One that we can't talk about. This new one, it'll be fun. So I think people will dig it. So
yeah, this new one's going to be a limited family reserve.
Yeah, it's kind of a jab at the fancy cigar guys. So
yeah, but yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah, what else is going on? What else we want to get into? Who should we have for? Yeah, we got to get more. We got to get reps and other brand owners on this show.
I had a couple of mine that are local that I think we could probably get.
Yeah.
That'll work out really.
I want to get Tom.
Yeah.
He'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Jenny Lynn.
That'd be a shit show.
It will be. Jenny Lynn's fun. It'll be a shit show. Yeah, Jenny Lynn needs to be on here. Mm-hmm.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam. So, yeah, we'll work on that. We got TPE coming up. Maybe we can line up some interviews there. We got our travel podcast thing we can take with us too.
That's true.
Try to get some.
We got SHOT Show coming up.
Yeah.
We got TPE coming up. We got PCA
in March.
A couple months after that.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
A lot of trade shows.
It's going to be fun, though. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we can yell at Pelican while we're there.
I'm going to.
Like, hey,
I'm going.
Slap him around a little bit. Like, wake up. Yeah.
Yeah. Have we talked about Nicaragua or the factory at all?
I
don't know.
In what sense? A little bit.
Have we deep dived into the factory?
No, we can for a little bit.
Yeah.
Open up that can of worms.
Right. I mean, I don't care, right? So when we started, we used the first year we used a middleman. We didn't even know where the cigars were made.
Well, I don't even think it was the first year. I think it was the first 6 months.
Yeah.
They were Dominican.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yep. That's all we knew. And then we went through Placencia.
Yeah. Yep.
And for the most part, Placencia treated us pretty good.
Yeah.
I got no beefs with Placencia at all.
No.
Other than so Placencia as a factory, I think I heard they do like 30% of the whole industry's cigars.
Yeah.
So now Placencia has its own brand. But before that, Placencia went for years and years and years and years.
Over 100 years.
Of just
making
other people's cigars.
Yeah.
They were a manufacturing and producing and
Yeah.
growing and all that. And so when we linked up with them, I mean, we weren't even 1/10 of a percentage of what they put out.
So they can make about 300,000 cigars a day
Between their Honduras factory and their Nicaraguan factory. And so that's a lot of cigars in one day.
Yeah. So like at the time, our orders, they would, in theory, they'd be done before lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The problem is there was a waiting list.
Yes.
And we didn't have a lot of pull. So
we were a very small fish in a very big pond.
Yeah.
We were like a goldfish in the Atlantic Ocean.
Like, so if you had to put, so when you talk factory size, usually it's how many pairs of rollers they have.
Oh shit. I don't know. Couldn't even.
So
1,000
between the
I
two
don't
factories,
know.
thousands.
I'll bet you they have probably 1,000 pairs
Yeah.
between all their locations. Because there's some rooms that we would walk into, rolling rooms, and I mean, there's got to be 300 pairs
It could have been an indoor shooting range, like 100-yard range,
easily.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and 100 yards wide.
Yep.
Damn near. So they're huge rooms of people rolling cigars.
Yeah.
You know, and so the problem that what we ran into with Placencia is, you know, from the time you order a cigar to you get it delivered, you have to age the cigar. You have to get in line to get it made. You have to, you know,
There's a lot of logistics.
there's a lot of logistics. And then Placencia, we had to outsource our boxes to another factory
Yep.
that wasn't Placencia's factory.
Yep.
And so we would get in line for the cigars to be made. They'd be made, but then they couldn't be packaged because the box factory
Yep.
dropped the ball. And so one of the first things I learned about Central America was mañana does not mean tomorrow. Mañana means not right now.
Yeah.
And so I would go to the box factory and be like, hey, when are these going to be done? They say mañana. I'd be great.
Go back to the next day.
The next day, they're like, no, we said mañana. I'm like, it is fucking mañana. And they're like, no, you know, so that's what, you know, so I learned that right away, but that delayed us quite a bit. And then, but it just got to be where, you know, we would expect them. We were told it'd be about 150 days and it ended up being 220 days
Or more.
sometimes. And so we had to find a smaller factory. And so now we use Esteban Carrera's factory, Tabacalera Carreras. And they have about 30 pairs of rollers.
Yeah, depending on the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, and now logistically, everything works out quite a bit better for us.
But we also have a whole lot more freedom.
Yeah. We get to go to the
Flexibility.
factory and like when we went to Placencia, we could control like the blending, but then we didn't have, outside of that, there wasn't a lot we could do.
We had no control over the tobaccos.
No control.
What they were, where they came from.
Yeah.
It was what they had.
Yeah.
We had no control over being able to do small batch,
Right.
limited run stuff.
Right.
And then once again, it also comes back down to the tobaccos. You know, they have access to a shitload of tobacco. They really do. And you can get almost whatever you want, but you can't go hand pick.
But it's allocated.
But you can't go hand pick. Like I can't go to Oliva Processing or Prosa Nica
Right.
Prosa and go down there and go buy tobacco and be like, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to use this.
Use
now.
this. Yeah.
They're going to be like, yeah, no, that's not how this. No, but that's what we do now.
Yeah. So we can go find good tobaccos and stockpile it and have it so we don't run out. And yeah, a lot more control.
Right.
And
And
yeah.
freedom, flexibility.
it just feels like our factory when we go.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel like we're
in somebody else's house.
in somebody else's house. It feels like our house.
Yep.
Right. And so Gonzalo is our guy down there, and I love Gonzalo, and he does a great job for us. And Craig owns the factory and treats us very well, I think. So
Yeah.
we're very grateful to be there and happy it's working out the way it is now. So
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know, someday we might come out with one cigar from another factory or something. Just to,
there's
there's a lot of, we
nothing
have
says
a,
that we can't.
yeah. And we have a lot of friends in the industry that have factories now,
Yep.
where we didn't when we started,
I know.
And so, like I'd be interested in doing some collaboration stuff to try to figure out that sometime. So we'll see.
I think it would be fun to sit down with somebody else and blend a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Just because everybody's palate's different, everybody's flavor profile is different. What we're fortunate enough that when we're working on new blends, we're both looking for similar things for the end goal of that cigar.
Yeah.
Because when we set out with the blend, we have an idea up front, and then we're getting that to the best possible flavor profile, strength, whatever we're looking for at the end. But sitting down and working with somebody else that's been doing it for years and probably has a completely different process than we do, I think that'd be so fun.
Yeah, perspective, right?
Right.
Like everybody has a different perspective just from their life experience. So, so I think maybe that's something we'll look at some point. We're not right now, but it's something we're open to.
Yep.
But yeah, no, the factory's great. We always when we go down there, we're pretty self-deprecating and don't take ourselves too serious. So I think the workers appreciate that. We go and try to have a little bit of fun with them.
Yeah.
And
I've banded, we've packaged cigars, rolled.
my favorite thing to do in the factory is to get everybody that's working there laughing at us.
At us, not with us.
At us. Like these gringos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at these fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
You're slowing me down, sir. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah. And then I'm sticking with the hotel that we stay at when we go there. Aquarius is a cartel front.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't say that, but I don't know what else.
I don't think the cartel or Aquarius is going to listen to this podcast, but
probably not. But if you want to stay in a great place for
go to Aquarius.
Yeah, for $50 a room, like it's awesome.
Breakfast included.
Yeah, good food.
Yeah.
So
it's across the street from the prison, but don't let that.
Yeah. Like when you're pulling up to the place, you're going to be like, where did these guys send us? And then the gates open up and you're like, holy shit, this is awesome.
This is like a 5-star resort. Yep.
But I don't know what else we got on the factory side. Going to the fields, that's always fun.
Yeah. One of the farms that we use is an all-female crew. The lady who runs it has degrees in tobacco, for lack of better words. She went to school to learn how to grow tobacco to its best capabilities. And then all the workers that they have, they're all females. So when they're climbing in the barns, hanging leaves for drying, it's all females that are climbing in there. Yeah. Doing everything. It's awesome. And in Central America, that's not really a thing.
It's rare.
Yeah. There's still very big gender roles in Central America. They haven't quite got to.
But the weird part about when you're there is like when you're from the outside looking at it, you're like, holy shit! Like they treat their women kind of a little different, right?
Yeah.
But the women are completely okay with it. It is just part.
They don't know any better.
Well, I don't know if they don't know any better. It's part of their culture, though. Like
I'll bet you it's because they don't. If they knew, if like,
do you think though?
Well, yeah, because you got to think the ones that are like have gone to college, or educated, that have traveled, have been around the world, they don't live there anymore. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah. No.
But it's what I guess my point was. They don't seem unhappy in the role they are in.
Yeah.
Everybody seems. I'm not everybody, but for the most part, it's a happy.
There's
country.
a couple miserable assholes down there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we won the birth lottery by being born in the United States, but everybody seems pretty chill down there. I like it.
Yeah, never was in a position where we had issues.
Yeah, where we felt afraid or
no.
Yeah, we felt lied to a couple times, but that was on the business side of stuff.
I think we were. I don't think there were no feelings involved in that. We were just straight lied to.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I don't know what else to talk about this one. We
Yep.
want to wrap it up?
We can do that. I mean, everything else that I had to talk about, it just, a whole bunch of data that nobody really cares about. Like you were talking briefly, this might be a record-setting year for cigars imported in the United States.
Right.
Though we still have to wait for the year to end before we have finalized numbers. But that's cool. That's showing that the industry's growing.
Yeah.
It's showing that, the FDA takes their foot off the industry's neck.
Right.
The industry can actually grow, and we can continue supporting the, thousands and tens of thousands of families that are involved in it.
Yeah.
All that fun stuff. But yeah. And then we got some cool projects coming up for next year. Like we were talking about earlier, the NFG cigar. The only way you can get that is through NFG on March 9th.
Or if they have some leftovers, which they probably won't.
They won't. I don't think they will at all.
But if they do, they put them on their website the following day or week.
I think our goal this year is to be the first
sold out
company to sell out at the event.
I think that's achievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to. I got an idea.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, other than that, tune in for next week. We'll be leading up into a whole bunch of stuff, and who knows, we might have a guest on too.
Yeah. So, all right.
Well, yeah, go smoke some cigars.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.